So kia ora everyone. Welcome to our podcast. And I say podcast because actually today we're going to actually talk live and real about what we're doing and actually hopefully find a name between then and now. So obviously this is your first time hearing about us, and yeah, we're going to kind of get into who we are first and hopefully share a bit more around what we do as a podcast. So I might throw it over to you, bro. Who are you? And yeah. Why, just give a little bit of a background of what you do.
Yeah, kia ora. Before that, thanks Tyrone for setting this up. I'm really excited to get this going. This is a podcast that we're thinking about for a while, and you know what? We're just going to get started because we really want to help other people because we're entrepreneurs ourselves. We kind of started it from scratch. We know the struggles, and also similar stages with young families, etc., young kids. But we love the game, even though the game is hard, but it's an awesome game to play. But we also know that there's other people out there who are just like us, who kind of want a business or thinking about starting a business or something on the side to create additional income stream for their family. And so, you've got Tyrone and Pussy here with both of us, our experience when it comes to entrepreneurship and business, and we really just want to help other people as well who are on that similar journey as well. So this is the podcast you definitely want to listen to if you're an entrepreneur, or thinking about becoming a business owner, and you want to know how to start and grow as well. So, and the cool thing about me and Tyrone is that we're still learning and growing at the same time. And as we're learning and growing, we're going to be sharing those wisdoms and lessons with you along the way. But anyway, I'm Pasi. My name on my birth certificate is actually Pasitaua Junior Halfano. So I'm actually named after my father. I'm of Tongan and Samoan descent. My parents migrated to New Zealand in the 80s, met each other in the carpet factory, had 7 children, and I was one of them. But they always drilled into us kids growing up education, education, education. So even though we grew up in a humble family, didn't have much in that, my parents always taught us to be grateful. But they always taught us to education is going to unlock opportunities, better future, and better things for your family in the future. And so because of that mentality and that route, I ended up pursuing education. And then funny enough, with education, I ended up starting my own business in education. So, I've got a business in training and development. It's called Education. So we work with a lot of employers, upskilling their staff, whether it's leadership, diversity, financial, digital well-being, etc. We help them build programs, and I've got an awesome team that help deliver that as well. But you're going to learn more about our business anyway, because we're going to share a lot of that as we progress in the podcast and as you continue to follow us. And then I also got another business called Design Factory, and that's all about content creation, personal branding, podcasting services, video. So if you want to grow your business using content creation and digital marketing, that's pretty much what we can do for you guys. But that's
Yeah,
me in a nutshell. And also, I think the most important part for me, I just must say, Tyrone, if that's okay, is I'm a Christian. God comes first in my life. I'm a member of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. And then second, I'm a husband to my awesome wife, Sandra Eve Alfano. And then we have 3 beautiful kids under the age of 8. So that's me.
yeah, awesome, cool. Now, thank you, Pussy, for jumping in there and sharing your story and sharing a bit of background around, I guess, why we wanted to start this podcast. But yeah, just kind of introduce myself. My name is Tyrone Tangata Makari, both of Cook Island and Māori descent. And I run my own businesses as well, similar to Pussy. I got one business called Inflow, which is about, I guess, holistic way of doing business development. So I have a background in marketing and sales, and especially kind of doing digital stuff. But I kind of realized through my journey that a lot of people want that support, but also kind of want to help just as a business owner and looking at how to kind of develop themselves. So I kind of provide that as a service. And I also have another business that I run called Second Half, which is more around helping impact driven organizations help with AI. And I guess in terms of my origin story, born and raised in East Auckland, and for myself, and probably similar to many other communities out there, whether that's called low socio or under-resourced communities, didn't really have much going around. People obviously trying to get by, and for me, I think I'm just going to be honest, money was a big driver growing up. And I wanted that for obvious reasons, to look the part, to have all these cool things. And I guess as I've grown, I've kind of realized that, money can be a tool for those, but also for many other things. So my kind of journey into business was kind of this idea of like, actually, how do I get all this money? But then it realized like, actually, we can use money in so many cool ways to actually do some really powerful stuff. So that's kind of a bit of my origin story and a bit around, who I am and what I do. But I guess it will be good to kind of talk into when did we first meet? I was actually trying to think back when our first meeting was. I think I actually met your brother first. I remember meeting him at a cafe, and we talked briefly around the work that you guys were doing and yourself. And then I think we actually formally met in Wellington. Am I
Yeah.
correct?
Yeah, that's right. That's right, man. Yeah, so I heard of you, and parts of that was through my brother. But you've always had a presence, especially within the Pacifica Māori community out in East Auckland, doing stuff in the community with those initiatives. But it wasn't until we were in Wellington. That would have been just as we came out of lockdown,
Yeah.
and we attended, or we got invited to be guest speakers at the conference down in Wellington, the
Mm.
financial conference there that was hosted and run by the Retirement Commission. And it was awesome. I mean, like, you got to share your kaupapa, your story, the stuff that you're doing, especially around the financial capability, financial well-being, and same as me. And it was so cool. But it was then, we caught up. I think we met each other at the airport. Then
Yeah.
we both, checked in at the same hotel, and then we went out and had dinner. And I think we had like Mexican food or something like that.
Yep. Yeah,
And
that's right.
yeah, it was like, And then yeah, hey, yeah, man, that was a great time. But after all of that, man, we just stayed connected, eh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's it. Yeah, yeah. Now you got a perfect memory, bro. Yeah, that all brought memories back of actually, yeah, how it kind of played out. And yeah, we've just been connecting ever since. And I think the reason why we kind of wanted to walk into this podcast because we kind of realized that we've got our own, not just our own knowledge, but we've been learning a lot of things on our journey and wanted to figure out actually how can we share this back, share it in a way that resonates with more people, and hopefully show them that as much as business is hard, there are things that we've learned that hopefully can help anyone that's on their business journey go forward as well. So I guess that kind of ties into what you already said, but I guess um, love to hear a bit more around like your why, bro. Like why do you think a podcast is important to kind of do this and share some of this knowledge?
Yeah, that's a great question. Why a podcast? So, besides this here, some of you might know me from Zeducation. And Zeducation, we're a workplace training provider. And it's really rare that you hear a workplace training provider have a podcast. It's like, why do you have a podcast? Your digital marketing or yeah. But just like when it comes to sales or marketing, just like using Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, and all these other platforms to help promote awareness and your services and to connect and build your audience, podcast does the exact same thing. So it's a new way of being able to connect with the audience, build an audience, and continue to nurture them as well and look after them and affy them. So, with podcasts, you could do educational stuff. You can do, there's podcasts out there where it's just about entertainment, sharing stories. But this education podcast I started, it's just more educational. So, like I said, we're a workplace training provider, but I didn't want to just be influencing people within a classroom or within the four walls. It's like, how can we continue to educate them and support them on their learning journey outside the classroom? And that's where the podcast came in. But also from a business perspective, having a podcast is good for obviously branding, but number one is building relationships with people that you want to do business with. For example, on this education podcast, I've had guest speakers on here who work in the mental well-being, mental health space, and I've been able to like, hey, should we partner up and tender for this RFP together, because your strengths and my strengths can help create an impact like
Yeah.
this, and that's partnership, right? And so, yeah, I think look at podcasts as like, how can I use it to make more money and win more business? It's not
Mm.
selfish. That's being strategic, right? If your business is not making money, and I tell people this all the time, Tyrone, you can have an awesome service, you can have an awesome product, but if you can't sell it, you don't have a business.
Mm,
You don't have a business, right? And that's why I'm always thinking about how can I sell better? How can I improve our brand better? And then when the podcast came up, I jumped on the wagon pretty early. When we first started off, it sucked. You know, but the main thing is we started. And then fast forward to today, I've interviewed over 85 guests on my podcast, and I've built all this huge network. And guess what? When I have those guest speakers come onto the podcast, their following, their audience is also going to know about me as well because I've affiliated myself with that person, with that guest.
mm,
They've got
mm.
their own audience, they've got their own following, you know? So again, more reach for my brand, more influence, right?
Yeah,
So
yeah,
yeah.
yeah, awesome, bro. And yeah, like just want to applaud you for that work, bro, because I think part of this business journey, right, when getting into it, you have to just start, and it's easy to kind of get caught up with what to do. And that's not to say you shouldn't have a strategy in place, but the ones that take action actually kind of start to see clarity, because once you start doing a few podcasts, and I'm sure you can attest to this, you start seeing, oh, I can work on this, I can work on that. We've gotten potentially feedback that can help us with our stuff. So I just want to applaud you for obviously what you've been able to achieve through doing that podcast, but then just taking that action. And I think for me, that's why podcasts and what we're doing is important, is because we're taking action. Just to be real transparent, we've been trying to think of a name, and we haven't been able to land on one. And part of that can actually slow a process down. But I want to also thank Pussy for like seeing that opportunity here, that actually we can get ourselves started, make it happen. And as we kind of develop this, a name may appear, or someone out there might be kind enough to donate a name and say, hey, this sounds like a perfect name for what you guys do. And I guess just for me, just kind of double down on kind of reason why I believe doing a podcast is great for what we're doing too. Pussy's kind of talked into that, all the actual awesome stuff of it. Just from I guess extra standpoint, is that you can actually have this content and clip it up for different reasons, right? You can, whether that's actually taking pieces of these videos, or even taking some of the words that we share. Because I don't know about you, Pussy bro, but sometimes I say stuff and at the spur of the moment, I'm like, damn, I should have captured that. So hopefully this becomes a time where we may not just share random stuff, but hopefully share some intentional stuff that even for ourselves we can take going forward. So yeah, I kind of just see that kind of lens when kind of doing podcasts. And then obviously with modern tools as well, we can kind of use this and distribute it in different ways. Okay, so I'm speaking specifically into using AI tools. You can record these podcasts, capture that content, transcribe it, and then use it for other purposes as well. So that's all a part of the thinking here as well.
Yeah, can I just add to that, Tyrone? The other reason why this podcast, and first of all, I must say the reason why I'm keen to do it with Tyrone Fano is because Tyrone is an awesome entrepreneur that and the Pacific and Māori community is not a big world. It's a small world, right? And but it's really rare that you come across somebody who you can really vibe with, especially right off the bat. And just like I said, go back to Wellington, like we were just like, I just felt like, oh, I've known this guy for a long time, right? And but even after that, we've caught up. Your business helps my business with education, with the email marketing campaigns and all of that. And I was like, man, I really like this guy. He's great at supporting my business as well. And I feel like there's got to be some sort of partnership here.
Mm,
So and like I said before, we have a lot in common, right, with our family, the journey that we're on, trying to figure this out. But the biggest part of starting this podcast, especially for me, was I get a lot of people coming to me, Pasi, how do you do this? How do you do that? And
mm,
I feel sad because sometimes I'm just too busy to share and give my time.
yeah.
I get like, on average 4 to 5 people a week going, Pussy, can we catch up? Pussy, can we do this? It's like, I wish I could catch up with everyone, but I'm just so busy catching up with clients, trying to grow my business, here with the team. It's just, so, and I wish, I mean, in the future, that's what I want to get into. And I'm slowly transitioning into where I can just be more at the strategic level in the business, and then have the team run everything for me and have multiple businesses, and then I can, do other things. But that's not the case right now. But anyway, having a podcast like this allows us to provide a resource, or create a resource for people to come back to and listen, be like, okay, maybe, you guys out there have questions, like flick
Mm,
that through to me and Tyrone. and we can have conversations and answer your questions on this podcast, right?
Yeah.
But this podcast is here to help you win in your business, right?
Yeah.
Especially if you've already got a product and service, but we're going to help you find ways to sell it, to grow, and to stand up from the crowd.
Yeah, awesome, bro. Yeah, that no, good point. Kind of going back to that and our reason, because yeah, in similar fashion, guess what, once we put ourselves out there and talk about business, you do attract people that want to know a bit more. Might not be in a position to carry on with the service you do, but as Pasi shared, and I'm similar, that we want to support, but it's just trying to find ways in which we can distribute that. So anyone else that's got questions, got things that they want to talk about, I actually remember some of the conversations that I've had with people, and we'll probably will talk about it in different weeks around some of those things I've had people ask me about. But yeah, we're really keen to help you win. And I guess that's probably where I want to lead into this, because this kind of ties into, the reason why we want to do this and what this is. But I'm gonna go first probably. Well, I'll start us off just to give you some time. But the question is like, what's one thing that someone can do right now in their business to win?
Mm,
So that's going to be the leading question, bro. So I'll happily go first. For me, I think there's a lot when it comes to business. If you're like myself, when I first started, I actually didn't have much people to kind of talk to about business. So I tried myself going online, going on YouTube, trying to learn about it. Now, it was cool. You got some people that really talked about some really cool stuff. But the challenge there was that it was all American. And I was like, oh, I relate to the, I guess, personal side of it in some sense. But I'm like, the context of businesses are obviously different over there compared to here. So a lot of my journey was actually just trying to find others out there that exist that could hopefully share something. So that was kind of my journey. But the one thing I do want to share is that actually, it, I'm trying to share it in the most respectful way. Is that um, you can do all the reading, you can do all the looking around, but you just have to start. Like if I'm if I'm talking to anyone when it comes to business, like when it comes to whether that's posting content, doing sales, you're not going to be good. Like Pasi shared, and even I should have shared that. Like I was, let's say rubbish when I first started. But we all are going to be not the best at everything that we do, and we might not even become the best at all different ways in which business you go about business, but you actually have to start. And the reason why I say start is actually start at everything, because for me, once you kind of learn a little bit of the basics, then you kind of realize, like, actually, I'm probably a bit more stronger here. This is probably where I need to get someone else here. Um, but if you're wondering around, hey, how does this work? What do I need to do? You'll never know until you actually get in there. So yeah, that's kind of my one thing. If you kind of want to win today and you're on the fence of even starting, or you're like actually sitting there procrastinating about something, the only way to kind of get through it is go through it. So
mm,
that's kind of my one thing that I'll share for today. And there are other things that I'll hopefully share, but bro, to you, bro, what's one thing that people could know today to help them win?
mm. Yeah, no, I really like that one. Just start, just start. Or the Nike one, just do it, just do it.
Just do it.
Yeah, whether you're nervous, anxious, or whatever, just do it. And I like what you said earlier before I share my point, just around clarity. And you know how I started the podcast. I just started. We started off like we sucked, but we got better over time. And you've got to have that mentality as like when you're starting, but you're starting with the intention of getting better.
Yeah.
So each time you do a podcast or each time you do something, what you should ask yourself at the end of it is, what can I do better? What can I do better? What can I do better? But my tip or my thing here would be a little bit interesting. You probably won't hear this from many people. From some entrepreneurs, you probably do, but mine is twofold: stop complaining, and then also get fit, like physically,
Mm.
physically. So the first one is stop complaining. Now the reason why I say stop, and I had this bad habit of doing it, Tyrone, all the time, especially during lockdown and COVID, just complaining about everything, complaining why this, and why me, woe is me, and what I didn't realize was I was trapped in negativity. And when you're trapped in negativity, you can't solve problems with clarity,
Mm.
and you can't be creative in negativity like that, right? You've got to be in a more positive state of mindset to be able to problem solve and to be creative.
Yeah.
Once you are negative, you are restricted and you are limited. And because people don't realize they're complaining, They don't realize they're trapped in negativity. They're going round and round. Because when it comes to entrepreneurship, entrepreneurship is problem solving. You are
Hmm.
helping customers, you're helping markets, you're helping business, you're helping people solve their problems, and they're willing to pay you in exchange for that. That's the value, right? So be a problem solver, and to be a problem solver as you start today, stop complaining. If you catch yourself complaining about somebody, something, but yourself, just stop it. So this is the opposite of what Tyrone said. Just start when you got an idea, start. When you got when you're complaining about something, stop. Right.
Hmm.
And the other reason why I said like go to the gym, get fit, is for me, it's about being disciplined. And one of the hardest things to discipline is your physical body. It is hard. It's one of the hardest things. Like if I compare all the hards in my life, like the emotional hard, the mental hard, the physical hard, the business hard, the family hard, the fitness one is probably one of the hardest ones. Physical, getting out of bed, torturing your body almost feels like, oh, feeling the pain,
Yep.
and doing it every single day because you know that pain is equals growth, right? And I feel like that discipline, that consistency will translate into other areas of your life,
Hmm.
right? And the thing about being fit is you have to eat to fuel your body, not fill your belly, to fuel your body. So you're like, oh man, I gotta eat this so that I have enough energy to work out, or I've got to eat this so that my body can recover. I've got to sleep properly so that my body can recover. And guess what? That's what you're doing for your body, but your body is gonna, when you put your body in a great state like that, you'll be able to do more. You have more energy. You'll be more productive for your family, for yourself, for your business, and everything else. Because like you got all these goals. You've got a business, and let's be honest, man. You and I, man, we're busy with family. I mean, right after this, you've got to shoot off to an appointment, right? We're just go, 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 go. But if you don't have energy to execute
Hmm.
on all those goals, it doesn't matter how much time you have. It doesn't
Yeah.
matter how many goals you have if you don't have the energy to execute on them. And I feel like looking after your body gives you more energy.
Yeah.
So anyway, that's what's come to mind. But
Yeah, bro. Awesome. Nah, I really yeah, I really support what you're saying, and especially coming back to that whole complaining, because I'm gonna be real honest. When I first started out, and when I saw business, I was like, man, look at these guys. All these guys talking about business. They have it all sus. They have all the money. Of course, they can go out and run a business. And, for some, not all, they obviously have some parents that have money, or they have houses they can go back to. Of course, they can fail. So I would, like yourself, was always trapped in this kind of, seeing what others are doing, complaining about what I didn't have. And I kind of got to this realization that, it's not about saying our experiences ain't true. The truth is, like you've mentioned, is that if you keep thinking like that, it's going to mess with actually how you make your decisions. And when it comes to businesses, especially with everything that you do, it's all about making the right decisions. Now, you're not always going to make the right decisions, but the more stacked right decisions you can make, things start happening for you. So if you want to make those right decisions, if you're in a place where you're a bit more clear, or a lot more clear, you're going to be able to choose ones that not are going to be biasly, to being negative around something. Okay, so really, I've really had to learn that myself too, and get out of that. Things are happening, but actually, if I make sure I'm in the best state possible, then I can actually make more better decisions that can help not only the business, but for myself and for my family. And then when you talk about the physical fitness, man, like totally agree. It's actually something that I personally struggle with. And I'll be honest too, the reason why I struggle with it is because sometimes I get overwhelmed with the stuff I'm doing, and then kind of put that to the back, when actually it's changing that around, right? It's actually making it a priority. So that's something that I've been trying to do this year. Fallen off the wagon for the last week. But trying to get back onto it is kind of the goal. But I think, what's really interesting? I don't know what the actual stats out there, but I've come across a lot of people that are in the kind of fitness space, that are fitness and have translated to, or transitioned to, doing business. And I just see that the skill sets that transition, like they're able to stay disciplined, not just with their, workouts, but with their eating. But like that's what business is. It's like it's actually not about trying to do too many things. It's actually trying to figure out what are the things that I need to do every day and keep doing them and keep being consistent and keep stacking those. So it's quite interesting that yeah, I found a lot of people, even online, even people that I've met, the ones that are have a fitness background or doing something in fitness, usually, not always, kind of turn out in business. Not because they know business, quite opposite actually. It's like they actually like I don't know that part, but I'm just gonna just what are the things I need to do each day? And because they've kind of built that skill set, looking after themselves, looking after their body, it seems to translate. So, yeah, just kind of supporting. There's no actual data out there, guys. I actually don't have data. It's just my own anecdotal and observing people that I come across. But yeah, I think that probably kind of should wrap us up today around, what we're about, what we're trying to do. We're still coming up with a name. We might come up with a name offline and actually present that as a name. But again, we're showing you exactly what we're saying. We're not complaining. We're out here just starting, and we're actually going to try and put in the discipline. And for us, that's every week, doing this once a week and making sure that we can, yeah, share some of that good stuff, hopefully for people and their journey. So, yeah, is there anything else you want to say, Pussy?
No, look, I'm very grateful. I'm very excited. This is the beginning of something awesome. And again, this podcast is for our people. It's for you guys. No one's paying us to do this. It's not funded from any other entity other than ourselves. And we're doing it purely out of our own hearts. And we want you guys to win. We really do want you guys to succeed because I've been there. We've been there, both of us. It's been hard. Um, but I wish I had a podcast like this or people that I can look up to, I can relate to, who I could listen and just keep me empowered, keep me encouraged, and give me advice. And this is what this podcast is going to be for you guys. So you can definitely expect an episode every week dropping from me and Tyrone. We're here to serve and we're here to help you guys win, especially when it comes to business. You got this.
Yeah, totally. So yeah, no, that's us. Usually wrap up, and that's our podcast. But hey, we're still figuring out what that could be. But yeah, thanks today, bro. And yeah, check us out every week.
Awesome. Thanks, brother. See you, everyone.